So the sun's finally come out, just in time for us to start our third series here in Axiom for 2013, where it's all about rediscovering vocation. So for most of us in our lives, we're in a time where our working lives take up the majority of our time, our waking hours. Most of us are working on average between 47 and 48 hours a week. Over 20% of us are working at least 11 hours a day. On top of this, Sydney is the third most expensive city in the world to live in. As a result, work is coming to dominate our lives, our thoughts, and our plans. Success at work is very quickly becoming defined by just simply getting through the week, finally getting to a weekend, or even maybe just having a little bit of leftover money to be able to afford to enjoy ourselves in the time that we do have off. We start to look to our work for validation from other people, for our own self-worth, or even as some form of a salvation from this endless cycle of labour. But how do we fit Jesus into this picture? In 1 Corinthians chapter 7, Paul is answering a similar question for the church in Corinth. They're asking, so now that I'm a Christian, does that mean that I need to quit my job and leave my family? Does it make everything that I've been doing in my life to this point meaningless? And he reminds them with the importance of God's call on their lives. In 1 Corinthians 7:17, Paul says, each person should live as a believer in whatever situation the Lord has assigned to them, just as God has called them. He speaks of God's calling on their life in their current circumstance. This word calling in Latin is vocare, which gives us the word vocation, and it speaks of the significance and the importance of the work that God has called us into in our current circumstance. This means that we don't need to look to our work for promotions or for bonuses, anything else in our work that gives us validation, worth, or meaning. Rather than seeing work as tiring or meaningless, it gives great significance to the work that we do, because it's in fact an opportunity for us to be able to serve God, to worship Him, and to glorify Him. If He has called us into it, then we can honour Him by fulfilling that calling each and every day in the way that we work. Our purpose becomes something much greater. It becomes to honour and glorify God in the way that we fulfill His calling through our work each day. I'd love to see a generation of people who aren't working to please others or to make themselves look good, but are working out of a place of freedom, who understand that their work is their call that God has given to them, and that they can worship God and glorify Him in the way that they work each day. The question is whether you're going to be one of those people.